Hey everyone, welcome back to She Bars Podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Wright, and today's guest, I have the band The Perfect Storm. Hi guys.
Hello.
Thank you all so much for being a guest today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
So can you tell our listeners, how did the three of you all become a band together, like to form the band?
Well, we started basically like 2021, end of 2021, 22-ish. Matty and I started to get together to play some music, and then we brought Ethan in, and then we started to do some covers, and we decided to make an album, and then pretty much here we are.
Nice. So where did the band name come from?
Well, all three of us, kind of were just throwing names around, and we felt, because we have like different styles that we like, that we have the perfect blend, the perfect storm of music styles brought together.
Yeah, that's nice. So how would you all describe your sound to someone who hasn't heard your music yet?
I mean, I would say we're a little bit of rock and pop and a little bit of country vibe in there.
Nice.
Me personally, I try to sneak in a little bit of synth wave in there, which is subtle, barely noticeable, but we got a little bit of everything going on, which is nice.
Prog rock. There's definitely some progressive in there.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Even some old type of stuff too. So
nice. So do you each bring something different to the band creativity?
Definitely. Ethan's kind of, I guess, more like the 80s rocker type of guy. Matty, I don't know, what would you say you are, Matty? Like the more Rush, progressive type.
I mean, like proggish,
Yeah.
And I'm probably more of the pop, older style rock, individual. Doo-wop, yeah.
He's
Nice.
definitely a 60s guy.
Yeah.
So what's the dynamic like in the studio versus on stage?
I mean, we try to have fun. We argue. We have fun. We argue some more. I mean, we're very creative. We have a lot of ideas. We know where we want our songs to go. We have a lot of good direction. We have a lot of good ideas, and sometimes we have a lot of terrible ideas, and we're not afraid to tell each other that. So, and we bounce off each other very well, and we blend it all together, and then it makes the sound that we have.
Nice. Y'all gonna have to come and visit Louisville soon, because I think we have a great music scene out here. I don't know. We've had a few people come out here.
I mean, you're not too far off from Nashville, right?
Right. Yep. So how was your relationship evolved as bandmates and friends?
When you guys want to take that, or
I mean, I would say it really brought us together more like a family in a way, The bickering, the bantering, I mean, the love that we have for each other, it goes a little bit deeper than friendship.
Yeah, I mean, we're very close. We talk literally like every day, even if it's on like just Messenger and stuff. And it's not always just music. Sometimes it's just checking in on each other, how we're doing. If we have whatever doctor appointments is sad or whatnot, or we are pretty close. But we are very musically connected as well too, and we're like brothers.
Yeah. So what is this is outside of the questions, what is one like band or group that you all like? Like what? Name one of them.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Maybe the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, probably the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Just pick a safe one.
Well, I mean,
Van Halen,
like the Foo Fighters. We can't,
Foo Fighters. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we all have like our own like particular favorites too, and we may not all like our favorites. Like Matty likes Rush. I mean, I think Rush is okay, but I like the Beatles. You don't like the Beatles, I mean, so.
I didn't say that. Paul McCartney's gonna be tweeting us, dude.
Yeah. Coming for you.
Man. So what is one thing each of you brings to the table that the others admire?
Wow. That's
That's a
deep.
good one.
Ethan will take that one.
I mean, I think for me, maybe the versatility. Like, there's nothing I really can't get my hands on. I'm always trying to get my hands on a different instrument, learn a little bit more than what I know right now. So, I think the versatility of different genres and different instruments.
Oh, okay. So how do you all handle like disagreements when it comes to music direction?
Honestly, it's if your ear is good and you know it's mixed well, then it's like you trust your ear sometimes. Like, hey, we just listened to this 1,000 times at this point, and something just doesn't sound right. To get to the bottom of it, really, getting to the bottom of each song.
Yeah,
That was fun, I thought.
And I mean, and we will be stubborn about it too. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to believe me. I'll argue him. Ethan will argue his. We will argue if we feel we have something. But we always somehow figure it out, or one or all of us come to our senses at some point.
Yeah.
Or
So-
we take a majority vote.
Well, yeah, which is yeah. There's only 3 of us, so we'll leave that there.
So I wanted to talk about a little bit about your new album, Maiden Voyage. Can you all let us know like what inspired the title?
It's the first album. I mean, and like it's like kind of like and then the logo was designed like a long time ago. I think we designed it like before we even started recording. Around the time we started recording,
just daydreaming, messing with AI, messing around.
And,
definitely messing around with a lot of stuff.
Man. So can you so can you all walk us through the process of creating the album?
I mean, we had songs, a couple of them. I think the first one was shown was Magic Feeling. I think I had that.
That was the very first one.
I had it written, and then I showed them because, like I said, we were doing covers first, and then I don't know, we were just jamming or something one night. I showed them the song, and then we just started working on it, and then we just decided to make an album. And then Ethan had started showing some songs, and so some of the songs we had somewhat written, some of them we did together. But then we either added our unique touches to them, like the song "Lean In," for example, that Ethan had written. It started off, it was actually a slow, really ballad song in the beginning, but then we sped it up and made it into an upbeat, rocker. There were songs with mine, like that. Ethan added this guitar part over top of it, and there was some different drums and bass and things that weren't originally on there. And, what was it? Even Matty's song, "My Woman Never Loved Me." When we had written, it was written one way. Then the guys changed the whole key and everything else to it. So
there's things it was slow originally. I was actually singing it and playing the drums at the same time. You can't be afraid to change stuff, What and then if it doesn't work, then you throw it in the junk box. But if you don't try, then
yeah, nice. So what themes did you all explore with the album?
I think we were looking for songs that kind of just were catchy, that we thought that we liked, but that an audience would like. We like music that is timeless. Even a lot of the groups we listen to, maybe some of them are older, but we like songs that 10, 15 years from now people are still going to listen to. We don't want it to just be a throwaway album. We want where if people listen, they're that's really good, and they're going to listen to it over and over again.
Yeah, and we tried to really choose our genre wisely in a way where it would reach a larger audience. I like a lot of metal. Matt likes a lot of prog. The audiences for that kind of genre is a lot smaller than what we tried to put out.
Yeah, and then we added some obviously pop and country and other vibes to it, so we could cross over into different genres. I think also because the music industry today is so different as well. There's not as many genres as there used to be, and everything seems to be in just one giant pocket, and they either just call it pop or pop something or whatever, so
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, which song did you all have the hardest time writing or recording on the album?
I don't know.
Recording? I mean, we spent a lot of time on Anybody New. We spent a lot of time on Lean In,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not like nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, anybody knew has some really crazy drums during the solo on that song. Like probably that one might have taken the most takes to try to nail. I don't know. We had another song that really took a while too. I can't remember which one it was. Like we spent a couple weeks trying to get some of the other songs really dialed in.
Well, We Fell in Love didn't come together quick either.
Right, and then there were some that we did a lot of like vocals and harmonies as well too. So some of the songs, I mean, we did like I don't know what 30, 40 tracks of vocals to get like a really thick, harmony sound.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Nice. So I want each of you to answer this. So which songs means the most to each of you and why?
Who wants to go, Matty?
Well,
I think.
Let's
go
with the single that's out right now. We Fell in Love. I mean, it's almost like, hey, this is when we realized, because we kind of did it towards the end, I think, if I'm not mistaken, some of it, and I think that like it kind of summed up the whole album. Like almost put an exclamation point on it, even though it's not the last song on, in order.
I think for me, probably Anybody New might be one of my more favorite songs on the album. That was one I kind of wrote with trying to write it like an 80s ballad, but keep it a little more modern sounding. But a lot of the way I structured the lyrics in that song and the intro with the piano, I think it's got like a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of versatility, a lot more emotion going through the song. So that's probably got to be mine.
Okay.
I'd say for me it would be a song for my friends. Yeah, I mean just the whole friends picking you up. Plus we all sing, and then what I like about it in that is I sing a verse and Ethan sings a verse as well, and then we all harmonize together. I think that's would be my favorite song on the album.
Nice. So how did your individual life experiences shape this album?
Well, I think because we all come from different I wouldn't say different places, but more like we have different tastes in music. It made it where we added these different elements to the album. Because Matty likes the styles he does, and Ethan likes the styles I like. Blended them together, so you can hear all these different hints, and we did things that a lot of groups don't do. I mean, one thing unique about us is all three of us sing, and all three of us will sing lead on songs. You don't get a lot of groups doing that at all. Most usually just have a lead singer, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. So how did you divide the songwriting and arranging duties for Maiden Voyage?
I mean, I would think most of what we were doing when we were songwriting, other than when we're jamming together and coming up with new things on the fly, like Jim was saying earlier, like, he had a couple solo songs from before we got together. I had a couple solo songs. When we got together and started really bringing those to life, it kind of started shaping the way the album was going. But we would still work on things sometimes by ourselves. And then when we'd get together to practice, we'd bring it all together and start, piecing everything together one by one, kind of.
Nice. So was the album recorded all at once, or did y'all have a longer period?
No, it was 37 minutes. It took like 20 months.
20 months?
We started in the middle of September of 2022, and we ended, in September of 2024.
Pretty much, yeah, about 2 years. We actually did it in this basement right here for the first album.
Yeah.
Nice. So what's the overall message you hope fans take away from Maiden Voyage?
Well, I mean, we hope that it's music that uplifts them. We hope that it can be a soundtrack to their everyday life, that they can relate to it. And if, they're feeling down, it's music that will bring them up and, make their day and life better.
I
I
couldn't
like
say it
that.
better.
Yeah, I like that. So do you all have a favorite lyric or line from the album?
Oh boy.
That's a tough.
That is tough because now I'm going through all the
It really
lyrics
is.
in my head.
There's so many lyrics, so many good ones.
I don't know. I think
honestly, Jim, I'm gonna give you your ode, but women in bikinis drinking beers with my friends. Who
that's
doesn't
definitely
like
that.
that?
All right, women in bikinis drinking beers with my friends.
There you go. I think I've got I'm a mystery man with another plan.
Or Maddie has now her sister loves me.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. Let's not go crazy here.
So, James, you mentioned Magic Feeling came to you quickly. What was that typical?
Oh, the song, like, you mean like how I write, or?
Yeah.
Actually, well, it's a country song. Originally, it was much more country sounding. It still has like more of a country rock sound to it. So when I wrote it, it was a little slower even. And then when we all got together, it picked it up. But it's a song, of life and reflection of life. I mean, starts off as we said, like, it's like a young man, like, on the beach, pretty much, with women in bikinis drinking beers with his friends. He goes through different stages, and it's like goes through college and finds out more about who he is, and then moves in with a woman in the next stage, but they break up, and then finally it ends where he's with the person I guess you're supposed to be with, and has a family and kids, and then the magic feeling of all those other steps are gone, but now the actual magic feeling is the stage of family, and then it ends again with the women in bikinis beer with my friends, as like almost like a circle where now it's like a new person who's experiencing their life.
Oh, okay. So why did you all choose Magic Feeling as the single?
Well, the label actually was the one who suggests we're on MTS Virgin, so they look at our songs and they decide, oh, this should be like the track, because the first track before we were on the label we released was Lucky Guy, and then we released after that Magic Feeling. Magic Feeling went to #1 on the national radio hits charts, and then after that ran its course. It's still on some of the charts, but we now are released We Fell in Love, which has actually been performing quite well right now too.
Nice. So what reactions have you all got from your listeners so far?
Well, I mean, most of the listeners, when they hear it, they seem to be, they like the album. People seem to be impressed by it. They feel like it's relatable. They a lot of even the reviews that we even read, they say like it's unique in the fact that we write a lot about love and life and things, where a lot of music doesn't necessarily do that. Like we're writing about more like, I guess, a lot of positive love in songs, whereas a lot of times today everything's breakup and heartache and stuff like that. But we're saying like we fell in love. There she was. A lucky guy, her lips are kiss, stuff like that.
But don't get me wrong though. We feel, we definitely did it all though. Soup to nuts. There's one song in there.
Well, and of course Maddie's song "Woman Never Loved Me." So,
well, you gotta have an equal balance. I believe, if you want to reach everybody,
of course.
So who are you all's biggest musical inspirations?
For me, the Beatles.
Beatles. Yeah.
I mean, if I had to choose one, I'd probably go, I don't know. Coheed and Cambria is probably my biggest one.
Okay. What about you?
Obviously
Rush.
You can tell I'm a big Rush fan. But I mean, even Iron Maiden, I'm big into Clutch.
Yeah, that's a big
Even
one.
Pink Floyd.
One of my top
you know.
5.
Nice. So, how did growing up in your respective hometowns shape your music?
I mean, I'm originally from Schenectady. Matty's from Troy, and Ethan is from St. Johnsville. So, Matty and I grew up more in urban city environments, as Ethan grew up in the rural country. So,
I mean, I jumped around for 12 years before that too, so I've been all over the place.
Man. So, what is one artist or band each of you loves that the fans might not expect?
good one.
Boy.
I mean, I guess
That's a great
Matty
question.
was Sabrina Carpenter. I think
Oh, you like Sabrina Carpenter?
he loves Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big
I
Marilyn
admire her
Manson
bank
fan.
account. I can tell you
You know.
that.
Man, so your typical songwriting process, like as a group. I mean, what is your typical songwriting process? Is like as a group.
Yeah, I don't think we ever actually all three of us wrote a song together,
Oh,
did we? Not really.
No, I mean,
Well,
we've had like bits or pieces where we're like, that could be a song, record those 10 seconds, and then we'll see if we can make it flourish in between band practices sometimes. I could say like my songwriting process, if we're gonna go to like individually how we kind of get the juices flowing. A lot of times I'll just be playing on the guitar. I'll come up with a riff or two, and it'll be something that sounds really good. I'm kind of like in the moment, in the zone. And if I don't go record it right then and there, I'm going to lose that song forever. And then I'm going to have to wait for another day. So for me, a lot of times I'll sit down for about 3 hours when I've got that vibe going, and I'll hash out like a whole melody for a song and then show it to the guys, and then we start building on it. Like the chords there, now let's work on it, expand what we got, and then make it into what, created the sounds you hear in The Perfect Storm.
nice. So, Ethan, you talked about emotional inspiration. Do songs ever feel too personal to share?
I don't think too personal, no. I mean, I've definitely got some pretty emotional songs that I'd like to keep for myself. Like I think everybody's kind of got songs they like to keep for themselves, but for the most part, like everything I wrote on the album was all emotions I was kind of going through at the moment, which when you're in that zone and you can get those emotions going when you're writing lyrics to a song that you just came up with, I mean, that's the best writing style right there. Like, because if you wait another day or another 2 days, you might not have that same emotion that you have right now. So, when you're in that moment, definitely get it down on paper and don't forget it.
Yeah. So, Maddie, do you develop your drum part to complement the lyrics and feel?
I try to. It's the way we started was very organic. A lot of these songs started in this living room, and then we went, and up the game and went to where Ethan is now in Schenectady. But no, there's some songs where Jim was like, "Try this. This is what I'm thinking," And then and me and Ethan, we would collaborate also, because he played significant amount of drums on the album. And but some of it was just like here, he took it a next level, but it was true to what I had. So it wasn't all mine, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was very organic. Like it's just like Ethan said, you play a riff, and then a riff would lead into a drum part, and then it just built on there. But it was organic at first. It wasn't anything like we're gonna, this is what we're gonna do. We kind of just fell into it at first.
Oh, nice. So, for each of you, what has been your most memorable live show so far?
Oh well, I mean, a lot of them probably I'd say recent. We play at this place, Rustic Barn. It's probably one of our favorite venues. It's a local one, but it's very intimate with the fans. But we've actually been working more to get larger, headlining, or I should say, supporting to headliners, acts and stuff like that. So hopefully soon we'll be playing for larger groups and bigger festivals and fairs, and that's what we're trying to get for the rest of the year here. I know we got
Nice.
a big one coming up in October, where it's just they have a Chowder Fest in Troy, which we're going to be playing, and that usually gets like about 25,000 people at that. So that'll be a really big one for us.
Nice. I hope to see y'all at Louder Than Life one time.
Hopefully.
Well,
For the millions of people.
Honestly, I think one of our better works is what we just did on Radio X, this internet radio station. We just did a 3-song acoustic set there. It's on YouTube. I can't remember the exact heading there. I believe it's like No MSG or something, but
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was a good one. We just did that back in May. We went, as Matty said, we went to Radio X in Cohoes, New York, and that was a 3-song set acoustic, which was kind of unique for us because we normally play electric, and we then took the songs and played them bare bones. You know, Matty was using brushes and a very limited drum kit, and I'm playing a 12-string acoustic, and Ethan was playing a 6-stringer. You know, and so normally, like, you know, it's electric, and we got our distortion, our pedals, and all these other stuff. So it was a very unique experience, but it did come out very well.
Nice. I wish I knew what you was talking about because I have no idea about music. I'm terrible at music. So
You don't play any instruments?
I can play the flute.
There you go.
hey,
So how do you all prepare a live show mentally and physically?
Well, I mean, first we look at where we're playing and the audience that's going to be there, because there's different songs you play for different venues and different people. I mean, like, so for a festival, for example, like the one that I was talking about, it's going to have a lot of people and a lot of families. So we'll have to play, you know, more of a, you know, family friendly type of a set and things that are, you know, very popular and stuff like that. Whereas if we're at like a bar or, you know, a more of a adult menu, you know, you can get away with doing a lot more wild songs and different things that, you know, wouldn't go over at like a family event.
Yeah, true. So I know you already said that y'all have a show coming up. So do y'all have any more shows besides that one coming up that the fans should look out for?
Yeah, I mean, we'll be back at the Rustic Barn, I think probably towards the end of middle or end of July, and then we'll be playing in hopefully a couple fairs that start up in August. So we're working more to get some more, and there's a possibility we actually might be, because we're up for a Josie Award in Nashville, so we might be playing at the Grand Ole Opry in November. So,
Ew, and it's close to me, so I'll be able to go see.
that it is.
So what's one fan story that really stuck with you all?
Well, I mean, you know, for us, I mean, it's really been when we play, and then, you know, people come up to you after, and then they tell you, you know, that they, you know, like our music, or, you know, someone says, you know, I got your album when it came out, and I listen to it all the time. You know, I mean, that you know, touches us, you know, because we put our heart and souls into the album, and it makes you know, you feel like you actually, you know, did something and it impacted somebody's life in a positive way. And that's what we've always been trying to do, is make, you know, this music to uplift people, and, you know, to have it be timeless and stuff that people like.
Yeah. So what's next for the Perfect Storm after Maiden Voyage? Like, do you all plan on making another album or anything?
We're already doing
or singles? Yeah, you are?
We already have started the second album. Yeah. Yep. So
Nice.
we start recording that. What is it? June? So beginning of this month, I think,
like
we
a month
started.
ago. Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So are there any dream venues or cities that you hope to perform in?
I think for me, I love to play the Opry stage. I mean, there's just been so many big artists that played on that stage, you know, from Garth Brooks to Elvis to, you know, all the other, you know, big modern artists. I mean, that's you know, to me, that'd be a hell of an accomplishment. So,
I mean, if you're going to shoot for the stars, Madison Square Garden wouldn't be too bad, you know?
yeah, that one too.
I really hope y'all come to Louder Than Life. It may be a big, huge crowd, though, like millions of people, but I hope y'all make it on the stage.
I would love that. We appreciate, you know, your optimism, and, you know,
So, what's the first concert you all ever been to?
Oh boy.
I'd say for me, I think I was in 10th grade in high school. I went to an Avenged Sevenfold concert for my first one.
Oh.
No, you young pup.
I mean, Buck
Jovi
Cherry,
and Cinderella, and I want you to erase that. No, they were
Buck,
good. It was a
Buck
good
Cherry
concert.
was Buck Cherry was headlining, but Buck Cherry was so bad, I just say it's an Avenged Sevenfold show.
What? Oh my goodness, we're gonna get sued.
What about you, Matty?
Yeah, Bon Jovi and Cinderella. My mother took me. It was like 6th grade or 7th grade or something, and she was like, "I'm never taking you to a concert again." And after that, she never did. And it really wasn't that bad. You know, they played Runaway and Cinderella they were good, but I, you know, after I got into like prog rock and heavier stuff and metal, I would be like, no, that was, you know, Iron Maiden was my first concert. But no, they were good. They were good. What about you, Jimmy?
I think one of my first, I don't know if it was my first, but I remember my parents, they took us to see Garth Brooks, and that was a pretty epic concert.
There you go. The Thunder Rolls.
Oh yeah, he did all that, and he flew across the stage, and they broke guitars and
that was back
stuff
in the
up.
day.
I mean, yeah, and then I remember Green Day came to Union College when I was in high school.
I didn't even know that. That's great.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. They played in the hockey rink, and that was a pretty epic concert as well, too. So
Nice. So my last and final question before I let you all go is, where can my listeners listen to your music?
Any place you can find music everywhere. On Spotify, we're on iTunes, Amazon. Go to our website. We're everywhere.
Pandora.
YouTube. Yeah, Pandora, YouTube. Places that we don't even know. I mean,
Yeah, right.
You're everywhere.
What, Tidal or something I never heard of, like Tidal?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Virgin Music distributes us, so wherever you can get it, we're there.
I want to thank you all so much for being a guest today on my podcast and chatting with me.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us.
It's been fun and it's been a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Hey everyone, I want to thank you all so much for listening to my podcast interview with the band The Perfect Storm. Check out their music and their newest album, Maiden, Voyage. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day. Bye.